Hello and welcome to an end of the day technical analysis video. February the 16th, 2019 is the current date. All bets trades and of the likes within each own risk and known reward. Look at this huge, exciting action in here as the price remains in not so volatile territory. Yesterday's session, or today's session rather, for February 16th, has a high of 3609, or had a high, and had a low of 3562, we'll call it, with the rounding. 38 differential to get to 36 plus 9 is 47, like 1.2% volatility. It has only been 2.5 hours, and volatility right now is only a differential of about a little over 18 basis points, or about 0.5%. But it's starting to change this over a 4-hour term time frame. Suppose we could see, there's the down move starting to move up, and I guess you could say the same about here, but not much going on within this. Litecoin against the dollar, it's actually looking pretty nice, but its moves, wild moves as I've named this video, not here, but nice looking pattern. Relatively similar against Bitcoin as well at the 0.012, we'll say. Yesterday's session having volatility. Well, we have a low of 1171, a high of 12, like 18. So that's 29 plus 18, that's 47. That's about 4% volatility yesterday, which is like not much of one compared to previous days, but I like its pattern. And Ethereum against Bitcoin, its volatility is not there. But since you had this beautiful up day on February the 8th and it had a pause day, following that with another good green up day, and it's been now about a week of doing this within what's a nice little sideways move. And this Fibonacci line, which I put in before this was even hit the first time, I probably would have calculated. I think what happened was I calculated on this day, and I said it pierced above and probably going to pierce below it, which we did. And these lines are just magnificent how they play out like this, how it congests at this area, and then after leaving it, it continuously has a decent move right down to this point, hits it a second time, and then it comes up and it resists this line so perfectly, like an awesome magnet, if you will. But Fibonacci retracement, this is exponential Fibonacci retracement, works really well. An exponential retracement, it takes the high divided by the low, and then the exponent, hence the name for it, of the key numbers. This would be 0.382, and the above one would be 0.618. Multiply the low again. But this has got a nice interesting pattern. So if I'm to try to make a bet, do I think this is going to go up or down or do well for the next 5 days? I think there's a much better chance. It's higher than 0.034 in 5 days from now. That's how I look at patterns like this. And then if you just have fun with these little things back and forth, Loom is in a nice sideways range, but I want to talk about coins that are moving. Komodo is moving really nicely, as we see in here after it left above this 18 average, resisting, coming back to the 18 of highs, finding support in this area, then lifting off nicely, as we can see in here. Now it's high for the day. This is frustrating, but it is what it is. 23.50. My high is 23.95. I technically sold higher, and noticeably higher on this coin today. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But we take a look at this on a shorter term time frame, say next on a single hour. We have the downtrend resisting the 18. And here, correcting through time, but it obviously broke this level of support, had a leg lower, establishing yet another range, establishing this level of resistance. When it broke it, it did so before. When we look at this 18, we've seen what preceded this hour rather, was this move in here, the ascending triangle with all of these higher lows, a lot of resistance being played in here. And then it had a pretty good break compared to what it was. It was really small, but at the time, when you were to look at it, and I'm just going to just back it up a bit, this is what you seen. You were like, ooh, interesting pattern. You had this previous level of resistance in a neutral market. You break above it, newly rising 18. The statement on this period was trying to revert trend. And of course, when I talk about when these markets are ready to go, they go. Well, that's what happened in here when it broke this level of resistance at around the 2111 handle. Let's shorten this out to, we'll say, the 15-minute term. And this is just an interesting period, but it gets more interesting when we take a look at this on Bittrex. 5-minute time frame. There's these wild moves. And when you just look at day trading opportunities, and we'll talk about arbitrage in a second, but throwing that part aside, 23.13, and within that 5-minute period, it comes back down to 21.70. Then back in this one again. In fact, we can see it better on the 1. So this is an interesting situation in here. So just imagine yourself as a trader. Everything in here has been like this, doing whatever, back and forth. All you can chop around at is like moves of like barely, like just microscopic moves. And if you're playing, oh, buy low, oh, you have the opportunity. You can see 21.20 coming back down. You're able to get 0.5% moves, but nothing out of the ordinary. And then this happens. So if sell orders come in and you're noticing this on the 1 minute, if say you sell at say 22, oh, now you can notice this is going higher. We got volume. This is day tradable. And if you're putting in sell orders higher, do they come in? Maybe another one at 23 does. So if you're able to get that fast enough, you can see how it goes down. And that's the key thing. You have to be really fast to get this, like within seconds. And frustratingly, I could talk about that with the next coin, which will be Vertcoin, where you're off by a few seconds on a couple of occasions, but that's part of the game. But if you're able to get it, buy back, and then all these opportunities selling again, definitely easy buying in here if you have a few minutes. But again, this is the 1 minute time frame. And then you have all of these nice little up and down moves, 21.47 to 22.28. And then we continue on further. There's the nice little big moves again, and it's pulled back. So again, we're going to take a look at this on a 15-minute time frame. Let's take a look at how this looks on Bittrex. Actually, let's just change it to daily. So this is what this looks like. The Bittrex one looks like this. Yeah, it went up to over 30. And we're going to shorten it out. I sold at 20. I sold at I think it was 21 change, maybe 22. Then I sold at like 26 and change, like 26.7, 26.8. And then those were my orders that got filled. Single hour, like this, just wild movements. I think I might have a buy order at 22 that might be filling. And the 1 minute. Let's show. I mean, this was several minutes of this happening. So before this, how is there anything to state? Now, is this volume a small indication? If that may be, I mean, it's looking at it, that's interesting volume now that I look at it. It obviously had the big move come in because we see it go to 25. Next minute up to 27. Next minute high 27s. Next minute high 29. And then the next minute 31 change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. But this gave you opportunity for several minutes to arbitrage. If I would have known at this time frame that this was the price, I would have sold everything that I had on Bittrex and then bought a little bit more on Binance. Meaning if I'm selling 100 at, let's say, 30, and the price is like 24 there, I'm going to get like 130 or whatever the ratio, whatever it works out on that great trade. And then in here, the arbitrage would just come to an end. And then any type of throwing that arbitrage away, you're able to sell at these levels and then you can buy it back. And then the market just kept on doing its things. Day trading spots just back and forth in the months a minute. 228 down to 220 are a gain of like 3-4%. Decent size moves here, going from 22.1 to 23.8. So 5% or so in that area, and this is where it stands right now. And would I be buying? I like to go 22 low change. Let me just check and see. And I'm at 22.012. So this low of 22.052 wasn't low enough. So I'm very close. My last sale was 23,800, which would have been up here. And I'm still waiting to buy it back, and I want to buy it back at 22. It should get there pretty soon. I could delete it and just buy it now, but I'm just going to let the market do it for me. Let's take a look next at Vercoin, because it's been minutes of me doing this video. It's 11.5 minutes, and I haven't even seen Vercoin in about 15 minutes time. So let's see how it looks. And this is the 1 minute. So I mean, it hasn't been doing too much. No, I definitely haven't made a trade in the last 10-15 minutes, but I've been trading this today. On the daily term time frame, this is up so far 74%. 74%. This is what it looked like before the day. So as we look at the market, downtrend, moving up, all this type of stuff. And thankfully, I increased my holding size a little while ago. I'm just going to quickly show some of my buys and sells up to a few hours ago, or a couple hours ago even. As it was on February the 10th at 11:08 Europe time, where I bought at 76 Satoshi, increasing it. And then I sold at 82. And then I bought at 85. That was a misclick error for me. I'm like, well, I accidentally, when I was trying to redo my order, probably put an order in at like 75 maybe. I don't know, maybe I tried, something happened and I ended up buying market price. And I was looking to sell, so I thought, geez, so I just then I thought, man, this should go up pretty soon anyway. We can see here that a half hour later it went to 87.95, so I made my sale there. And then a couple hours, hour and a half later even, it went up to 99.85. And then it went down to 85 in here. So that was the only buy that I've had. And then 12.17, which is today, or 2.17. Technically, it's still 2.16 on my time. Selling at 93. And then I noticed what was going on, and I decided to sell it at 11.4. So I sold all of this down for what I had. It wasn't that much, but it was something. And I've had more trades since then because the prices went up much higher. I mean, 11.4, 11.3 was what I sold that at. And when we look at this again further, it's been up to here. My highest sale is 14.9. I've sold near the top. What's the high today? 15.147. My highest is 149 and change, which sold just recently. I'm not buying back till 11. As what was a little frustrating today, let's take a look on the 5-minute time frame. I might have to do the 1. I will do the 1. Was what happened beforehand, because it came down to this 8,000 level where I couldn't buy. Right in here. So you can see where it says 8,500. Well, I had a buy order in just at this lower end, but it didn't go through. I was trying to buy here. I should have took market prices. after selling up, because what was my sell number? It was 92.97, and I was trying to buy it at 84 change, and I didn't get it. So I left, and then I noticed the market was all the way up to here, like in this area here. I'm like, holy crap! So I sold some more, put a buy order in, and then of course that didn't hit. A sell order did hit for me at around the 149 handle up here, and then the market did all this, and that's where it stands. So I got a buy order at 11, a sell order in at like 1.7 something. But moves like this are just wild, because weekly time frame, what is Vertcoin doing? It's making a statement. It's just screaming, yelling, "Hey guys, we're breaking out. We're finishing this downtrend. We're going to start an uptrend." Oh, okay, well, let's see how you do. Last time it screamed that out from a downtrend would have been in here. It wasn't that big of a scream, but it got above the 18, and then it paused it and it went up. And then in a downtrend in here, we've got any attempt to get above 18 highs, not close. 18 highs, not barely getting above it. It's low volatility here, but not even getting up there. And continuing low volatility, and then finally it does such an event. So whenever it does something like this, I have to determine where do I need it to see it hold. And at the most lowest level, I talk about conservative level, this is the opposite of conservative. 77.30-ish area. It really needs to hold and stay above. But after this move, and as high as this has went, wherever the 18 average of lows comes in on the weekly in this spot going up, I mean, this level of resistance, 85, 84. A decent pierce below 10,000, but if it can hold even higher than that on any moves, because this is just a wild situation. This little congestion area, I want to see it hold. So 10,000 and a pierce below 95, 9,400. I would think it'd be an interesting area where I'd like to see it hold and stay above for a little while. But how capable over the next day and 7 days is this for where it may go? Because when these cryptos go, they obviously go really good. And right now in the 15, it's just been that amazing moves. It's been going sideways for the last good hour and a half. It's at lows not seen in like minutes. Like, we're talking about if we break this level of support, we'll be back to lows not seen like since 8:45 p.m. It's 9:51 as I'm doing this. That's an hour ago. So maybe this run is over, and maybe we might have to come back down. For me, I don't care either way. I realize that I'm the type of person that trades 8% moves, 10, 12% moves. So if I'm selling at like 1,500 for a 10% play, and look at that, now it's breaking below, I'd be looking to buy back at like 13.5, and it would have already came through. But because I'm going to adjust volatility to the market, I want to get the best pullbacks that I can. And to me, 11 is that conservative number. I could very easily hit there. I don't want to buy it at 12, even though it's still profitable for me to do it this way. I would rather buy it at 11. And if it doesn't go there, that means all this area holds. Then if it breaks out higher, then I'm just going to have a sell order hit. And if it establishes a level of support higher than the 11 number, say 12 or 11.7 or something, then in time I could always adjust my orders if need be. But for now, if the market, and it is moving like this, I expect high volatility to remain within this market. A market that's breaking down. On the 1 minute, it's had dozens and dozens of minutes trying to break out. It hasn't done so. It established support at 13,486 from 21.10 all the way through 21.15 during that cup of coffee break. Established a support. After it broke down this established support here, But when you look at this more advanced, this level of support is resisted multiple times. Here, 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 here. And then after the last time, it never rallied anything from this point. This established support got taken out. This established support has now gotten taken out. So are we going to resist in this area of band here? Probably. After all, that's what these bear markets do. At least that's what it's looking to do. It's made the statement in here that this is going to go bearish. Maybe fill some of this empty space. Maybe go down to 11. Please, please go down to 11. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.